They were worshipped as gods, adorned in gold, their names carved into stone for eternity. But beneath the grandeur and the power, many of these rulers were cruel, tyrannical, and ruthless. In the shadows of Egypt's glory lie the stories of 15 pharaohs whose deeds stained the sands with blood and fear. These are the 15 most evil pharaohs in Egyptian history, and the darkness they left behind. As we uncover the dark legacies of these rulers, let us know in the comments who you think was the most evil or the worst of them all. Your opinion matters, and we'd love to hear what you think. 1. Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh. Akhenaten's reign marked a dark chapter in Egypt's history. Known originally as Amenhotep IV, he shocked the ancient world by rejecting Egypt's polytheistic traditions and declaring Aten, the sun disk, as the one true god. His fanatic devotion to this new religion led him to destroy the temples of powerful deities like Amun, cutting off Egypt's spiritual lifeblood. His religious revolution not only upset the social order but also devastated the economy. Akhenaten moved the capital to a remote city called Amarna, abandoning the rest of Egypt. His reign saw a decline in military power and trade. But perhaps the darkest act was his brutal suppression of dissent. Many who resisted his religious changes were exiled or executed. After his death, his successors, including his son Tuten Kamoon, worked tirelessly to erase his name and legacy from history, demolishing statues and erasing inscriptions. 2. Ramses II, the propaganda pharaoh. Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, is often remembered as Egypt's most powerful and successful pharaoh. Yet beneath the victories he boasted about in grand monuments, there lies a darker reality. Known for his relentless propaganda, Ramses exaggerated his military successes, particularly at the Battle of Kadesh, where he claimed a decisive victory, even though historical evidence suggests the battle ended in a stalemate. But Ramses' cruelty wasn't confined to the battlefield. He built his empire on the backs of slaves. The construction of his many grand monuments, including the colossal temples at Abu Simbel, was done through the forced labor of countless captives, many of whom died during construction. He ruled for 66 years with an iron fist, crushing any opposition with brutal force. The lasting legacy of Ramses II is one of supreme power, but it was built on suffering and manipulation. 3. Pepi II, the king who ruined Egypt. Pepi II ascended to the throne as a child and ruled for an astonishing 94 years, making him one of the longest reigning monarchs in history. But this seemingly unbreakable reign was not a period of prosperity. By the end of his reign, Egypt was in decline. Pepi's long rule saw the weakening of central authority, the collapse of the economy, and the loss of Egypt's military strength. Despite this, Pepi was known for his cruelty towards his subjects. One of the most notorious acts of his reign was his use of fear to control his people. He imposed harsh taxes, leading to widespread poverty. His court was known for its corruption, and his use of forced labor in monumental building projects contributed to Egypt's deteriorating state. After his death, Egypt entered a period of political instability, and the once great kingdom began to crumble. 4. Tuten Kamoon's advisors, I and Horemheb. Though Tuten Kamoon is remembered for his untimely death and the discovery of his tomb, the real power behind the throne was wielded by his advisors, I and Horemheb. I, who served as vizier, is suspected to have orchestrated the young king's death to seize the throne. A's rise to power was built on ruthless manipulation and perhaps even assassination. Horemheb, who later became pharaoh, is also believed to have been a key player in eliminating potential rivals. Once in power, he purged Egypt of anyone associated with the Amarna period, erasing Akhenaten's reforms and seeking to consolidate his rule. Both I and Horemheb were ruthless in their quest for power, ensuring that anyone who stood in their way was removed, often violently. 5. Sedi I, the warrior king. Sedi I, a strong and capable military leader, expanded Egypt's borders through ruthless campaigns. While his victories are often celebrated, Seti's wars were brutal, marked by mass slaughter and ruthless suppression of conquered peoples. Sedi's reign saw the forced relocation of entire populations, their lands seized for Egypt's growing empire. Sedi also made a name for himself by desecrating the temples and tombs of his enemies, further asserting his dominance. The legacy of Sedi I is one of military conquest, but it was achieved at the cost of countless innocent lives. 6. Thutmos III, the Napoleon of Egypt. Thutmos III is often hailed as one of Egypt's greatest military rulers. However, his military genius was accompanied by ruthless tactics that earned him a reputation as one of Egypt's most bloodthirsty leaders. He led 17 military campaigns, leaving a trail of devastation across the Near East. Thutmos was known for his brutal methods of warfare, including the mass slaughter of prisoners and the complete destruction of enemy cities. He even erased the memory of his stepmother Hatshepsut from history, destroying her statues and erasing her name from official records after she died. His reign, though successful, was founded on the pain and destruction of countless peoples. 7. Samik Yor, the bloody usurper. Samik Yor's rise to power was marred by bloodshed and treachery. After overthrowing the last of the Libyan pharaohs, Samik used fear and cruelty to consolidate his power. He is believed to have buried many of his political rivals alive to ensure his reign would not be threatened. Once in power, he reintroduced a brutal system of labor, relying heavily on foreign mercenaries and slaves. His violent methods earned him a reputation as a cold and calculating ruler, and his rule was marked by oppression and cruelty. Though his reign brought Egypt some stability, it was at the cost of much bloodshed. 8. Talammy Tuentin. The puppet king Talammy Tuentin, also known as Auletes, is remembered as one of the most corrupt rulers of the Ptolemaic dynasty. His reign was marked by lavish spending and a close relationship with Rome, which he used to fund his lavish lifestyle. In his desperation to stay in power, Ptolemy sold Egypt's wealth and resources to the Romans. He had no qualms about using murder and deceit to maintain his hold on the throne. His rule was marked by betrayal, and many historians believe he was one of the most treacherous and morally bankrupt rulers Egypt ever had. 9. Talammy Tuentin, the drowned king. Talammy Tuentin, the brother of Cleopatra III, was embroiled in a bloody civil war with his sister for control of Egypt. After the assassination of Pompey, the Roman general, Talammy Tuentin's forces drowned Pompey's body to prevent it from being honored. His ruthless nature came to a head during the power struggle with Cleopatra. After being defeated, Talammy Tuentin drowned in the Nile while attempting to flee. His reign is remembered for its cruelty, manipulation, and the brutal actions taken to hold on to power. 10. Cleopatra VII, the Queen of Manipulation. Though she is often viewed as a cunning ruler who used her intelligence to maintain Egypt's independence, Cleopatra's methods were far from noble. She used seduction, deceit, and manipulation to secure her position, even forming political alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Her reign was marked by the violent elimination of her rivals and the manipulation of Roman power. Cleopatra's love affairs with these powerful men were not just romantic. They were calculated moves to secure her throne. She was ruthless in her pursuit of power, and her legacy is one of intrigue, betrayal, and cunning. 11. Aman Hatai, the conspirator king. Aman Hatai founded the 12th dynasty, but his rise to power was surrounded by mystery and bloodshed. It's believed that he may have orchestrated the assassination of the previous pharaoh, Sesostris III, to claim the throne for himself. Once in power, Emhat used his cunning to strengthen his rule, purging potential rivals and securing his position. He relied heavily on espionage and political manipulation, ensuring that no one could challenge him. His reign, though successful, was built on deception and betrayal. 12. Merneptah, the boasting pharaoh. Merneptah is infamous for his boastful inscriptions claiming victory over the Israelites. Though historical evidence suggests his victory was exaggerated, Merneptah's reign also saw continued brutality against conquered peoples, including the widespread looting of cities and the killing of prisoners. His boastful inscriptions not only sought to glorify his military success, but also to legitimize his cruel rule. His legacy is one of destruction and arrogance. 13. Kufu, the pyramid builder. Kufu, also known as Cheops, is best remembered for commissioning the Great Pyramid of Giza. But the construction of this monumental tomb came at a horrific cost. It is believed that thousands of slaves and laborers were worked to death under Khufu's command. Khufu ruled with an iron fist, and his tyrannical methods ensured the completion of his pyramid at the expense of countless lives. Though his pyramid stands as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, it was built on the backs of the oppressed and the broken. 14. Emhat II, the Silent Terror. Emhat II's reign is largely forgotten in history, but his dark actions still echo through Egypt's past. While his rule was generally peaceful in terms of military campaigns, Emhat was known for his harsh internal policies, including severe taxations and the continued use of slave labor. He is suspected of silencing any opposition through murder or forced exile. His legacy is built on fear, and his reign marked a time when many Egyptians lived in constant terror of their ruler's unpredictable cruelty. 15. Cleopatra III, the Poison Queen. Cleopatra III ruled during a period of political upheaval and civil war in Egypt. Her reign is marked by her manipulation of her children and her brutal political purges. She is said to have orchestrated the murder of her co-ruler, her son, to solidify her own power. Her tactics were cruel and cunning, and her ability to manipulate both her family and the court made her one of the most dangerous rulers of her time. Cleopatra III's legacy is one of ruthlessness, poison, and political machinations that led to the destruction of those who dared to cross her. These 15 pharaohs left behind legacies built on terror, manipulation, and destruction. From religious zealotry to military cruelty, they ruled with iron fists, and their actions stained the pages of history with darkness. But the question remains, who was the most evil of them all? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think was the worst pharaoh in history?